What is going on, true believers? Guys, we are in the final days as Gary Gensler starts lashing out at crypto in his final days in office. Now, if you don't know what's going on, let me summarize here. Donald Trump has said publicly that once he is elected, he will immediately fire Gary Gensler. Also, Mark Cuban has come out saying that in the event that Kamala Harris is elected, Gary Gensler is also out the door, leading to no matter what, Gary Gensler is gone. So cryptocurrency does not have a clear path going forward, but it has a big obstruction that's been in the way, no longer in the way. Now, that is a great thing for cryptocurrency, no matter what, but there's something even bigger that's hot off the presses that just now came out that's happening. Despite the fact that the PPI numbers came in a lot hotter than were expected, up 1.8% versus an estimate of 1.6%, which is usually a reason for a massive dump in the market. Will the market dump? I don't know, because something else is on the horizon. And in a few short hours, we're going to find out what it is. And guys, in the event that that were to happen, this market is going to explode. October will be for real. Now, if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. And do not forget that it's not about Believes 182. It's not about Believes Shelton. It's not about Believes Switch Engage. I want to say it's not about all of that. It's about, you know what? It's about Flank. It's about Frank Believes Natra.
I can read a chart like a Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. I bought some Bitcoin cause I'm always right. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Believes. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Believes. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you, for you. I built a crypto channel, streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go live and say to all you guys, don't fall for all these other people and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Believes. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Believes. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you. They call me Believes. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Believes. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you, for you. They call me Believes. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Believes. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you.
Hey, McFly, why don't you hit the like button? What is wrong with you? What are you doing? Hit the like button. All right, guys. So here we are. There is a whole bunch going on. We do have Frank Believes Natra in the house right now. And you know why we have Frank Believes Natra? Because the biggest fan of this channel asked me to do that. You know who that is?
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the Believes Crypto YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald out.
And if you can't trust Donald Trump, who can you trust? All right, guys, so let's get into it. There's a lot going on here right now. And in fact, this market could be set for just a really explosive sort of move getting ready to happen any moment now. Now, first of all, we do have to deal with a few issues, and we do have to ask the question here. Is Gary Gensler trying to lash out at crypto in his final days? Now, let me say that, the answer to that is clearly yes. They have filed a Wells notice with Crypto.com, who countersued them. They filed an appeal with Ripple. They've gone after multiple different companies over the last several days, including Saitama Inu, including Lillian Finance. Let's break it all down for you to get an idea of what is going on as we get to the end of this whole sordid episode of Gary Gensler in charge of the SEC. Yesterday, Cumberland DRW, and if you don't know who Cumberland DRW is, you are not alone. There are a lot of people who have no idea who Cumberland is, and the reason for that is because these money-making companies, they like to operate quietly in the background. They do not like to be out here in the front and being exposed. That allows them to conduct their business privately and quietly without interference from people. Well, guess what? The SEC decided to interfere because the SEC has now charged Cumberland DRW because, by the way, now for those of you that don't know who Cumberland is one of the biggest market makers in all of cryptocurrency, providing deep, dependable liquidity in crypto assets. Now, the SEC went after them and announced Thursday that it has charged Cumberland DRW, a Chicago-based crypto trading firm. What is it with jump trading and Cumberland, and why are they coming after Chicago? What is going on here, Gary Gensler? A protein shake from Brogadishu? Like, I thought we were better than this. We don't come after Chicago. Chicago comes after you. You know what I mean? Not really. Anyway, the SEC announced that Chicago-based Cumberland DRW was charged with various securities. In an announcement, the SEC that Cumberland operated an unregistered dealer in handling more than $2 billion worth of cryptocurrencies. The complaint alleges that Cumberland traded crypto assets that are offered and sold as investment contracts on third-party crypto asset exchanges. Now, they labeled them too. The SEC mentions 5 assets that the regulators consider to be securities: Solana, Polygon, Cosmos, Algorand, and Filecoin. However, they also noted that it is a non-exhausted list of assets, which means that they are at this point ignoring settled law. And that is, by the way, the laws of the land from Judge Annalisa Torres regarding the Ripple settlement, indicating that sales to private citizens is not considered a security. However, despite frequent protestations by the industry that sales of crypto assets are akin to sales of commodities, our complaint alleges that Cumberland, the respective issuer and objective investor, treated the offer and sale of the crypto assets at issue in this case as investments in securities. Now, remember what they're saying, and this is the SEC. This is the acting chief of the Asset Cyber Unit, George Tenriro. And what he says, again, is despite frequent protestations by the industry that sales of crypto assets are all akin to sales of commodities, our complaint alleges that Cumberland and objective investors treated the offer and sale of crypto assets at issue, in this case, as investments in securities. Cumberland profited from its dealer activities in these assets without providing investors and the market with the important protections afforded by registration. Cumberland did not immediately respond to Decrypt's question, but posted a statement on Twitter that it wouldn't be making any changes to our business operations or the assets in which we provide liquidity. They are standing off against the SEC immediately. We are ready to defend ourselves one more time because in 2018, the CFTC sued and the investment firm won. So just for clarity here, the CFTC, which is the commodities arm of the U.S. government, sued Cumberland and lost. Cumberland now says they're going to beat the SEC as well because they're not securities. So Cumberland is the crypto trading subsidiary of the investment firm DRW. It specializes in making institutional sized markets in Bitcoin and other digital assets. The SEC has hit a number of digital asset firms, including American exchanges Coinbase and Kraken. Remember, this is just an attack on cryptocurrency by the SEC. Coinbase still ongoing. Kraken decided to settle. Now, it's unfortunate, by the way, that Kraken decided to settle. However, in the event that it becomes something that we have as a consideration going forward, Kraken did not settle with an admission of liability. They just paid the penalty. They called it a nuisance fee to get that bug-eyed monster Gary Gensler off their radar. So this was not an admission in any way that what the SEC was doing was true. So that's where we are, and that's what's going on, but it doesn't end there. Remember, just yesterday, they came for Saitama and they arrested Manny the Hitman. They arrested Aaron Saitama. Gabriel Klein is still not arrested, but they arrested Russell Armand, Max Hernandez, who agreed to a plea deal and cooperation, and VFAM, who also agreed to a plea deal and cooperation. And for anybody who's saying, well, that's Saitama Inu, that has nothing to do with Cytochain. Cytochain was named in the investigation, by the way. Just because they're not talking about it right now doesn't mean that it's not at issue. So, and also, I have a friend who sent me their Saitama Cytochain tokens to try to sell them off yesterday for them. And guess what? There's not enough liquidity in there because the government could be coming for the liquidity on Cytochain. I would be very nervous with what is going on with Cytochain. I don't know that they will. I don't know that they can. But the amount of selling and the amount of pressure that hit it is, it's a lot. Now, the other thing is, that happened with Solana when FTX collapsed. So, could it recover? I don't know that it has a path forward, to be honest with you. Cytochain, I've always been under the impression that just because it was part of Saitama, that when the bull market came back, that it would have a nice run. Would it go to 7 billion again? I doubt that. I think it's cooked, but it doesn't mean that it won't, go up to 500 million market cap or a billion. You won't get a 20 or 30 or 40x. So I still had the impression that there would be some kind of positive move for it, and that they would put in the work to make sure that that were to happen. They do have an active and working blockchain. Whether it's any good or not, I've seen the white paper. I wasn't impressed with the white paper, and I made everybody aware of that, that I think they had to do better. But there might be a path forward for them still, even if the SEC is involved, because they're no longer in the United States and they're in Dubai, and they're not going to come from in Dubai. You know what I mean? So that's where the Cytochain Corporation is registered. So, Cytochain is going to continue. And if you buy this dip, there's a possibility that it revives and has a big move coming up. Selmo Fudd asked a question: where is Sway? Can he come out and play? I drove by Sway's house the other day. Well, actually, I didn't drive by his house the other day. I drove by his street the other day because I was out in his neighborhood. I'm not going to tell you where he lives, but I'll tell you that it's in Northwest Indiana. And I drove by his street just a couple of days ago. And I was tempted to go down the street, pull up at his house, and then put an SEC Wells notice on the door and stuff like that. But I didn't do it. It's not my fight. You know what I mean? It's not my fight. Just, I reported to the FBI. I did what I was supposed to do, and I was required to do, and it wasn't for BTFA, by the way. It was for that Metapolitans, the one that he started right after BTFA. So I did my part. We'll see where that goes. But now, after Saitama, what was the next one that was up? Lillian Finance. Now, we were told that Brad Beatty was not arrested, or at least they've argued that he was not arrested, but he has been charged with felony counts. And by the way, if you guys remember, I told you before, not only did he have charges against him for fraud, he refused to show up in court, and he ignored and got default judgments against him and stuff like that. But because it's crypto, they weren't able to take anything. So it's getting real right now. And there is evidence, by the way, in case anybody is not understanding what was going on. Lillian Finance, they had a group of people. They had like Luis and Cody, and the only one that, it was my understanding, was not taking a salary was Barney, because Barney was kind of the financier, if you will, for a lot of the back end stuff. But Brad had a salary, Luis had a salary, Cody had a salary. I mean, even Dr. Ari had a salary for a short period of time, and they were continuing to do all of these different. They were continuing to do these surgeries. They did 4 surgeries. I want to say might have been 5, but 4 surgeries. However, they didn't change the marketing. They didn't change the foundation wallet. And Brad was pulling money out of the foundation wallet for the total, for a sum total of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and sending it to his personal account. Now, could he have been using that in order to pay bills and stuff like that? I mean, it's always possible for the company, but that would be intermingling corporate resources into your personal account. And that is a problem into and unto itself to begin with. So I don't think that that's going to be a viable explanation for what was happening over there. I don't think he's going to be able to defend that situation. But again, remember, I told you before that what he was doing, boy, I got off track there. What he was doing was pulling the money out for himself, and that it is now my opinion that he was the quote unquote mastermind behind lying to Barney about that Coinbase listing. And that's just my opinion. I don't have any evidence to back that up. But if you look at the data, if you look at all the information, there were 2 people, 2 big sellers that were selling at the top after that pump. That was William, who founded 100x Gems and was in Lillian Finance before that. And ask Ryan Patrick, because Ryan Patrick and I have already talked about this, and Brad Beatty, who, by the way, was friends with Ryan Patrick, but then ghosted Ryan multiple times and just turned into an asshole to him. So to the point that Ryan became upset with it, because Ryan actually believed in this, especially because of Brad's daughter Lillian. So there was a lot going on in the background here that people don't even really understand or know about personally between these guys. So then when money started going missing, I'll tell you this: when money started going missing, Barney, who was the guy that was funding it, was asking, "Hey, where's the money, and why is this going on with this smart contract? Where is this money going?" Barney was locked out and let go when he asked the questions. Now, say what you will about it, but that's very weird. Okay, and now here we are, where the FBI has come in, and there's felony charges pending, and people are saying it's okay. MetaChain X is going to launch and stuff like that. Also, just to be clear here, I am a holder of Lillian Finance because I believed in it because of Barney, and I'm still holding what was at one point $5,000 worth of Lillian. It was actually 7,500 worth of Lillian tokens, but let's just call it 5,000, because I put 5,000 of my own money into it, plus what I got from them from the original launch, if you guys remember. And the launch was all messed up and stuff like that. So anyway, it was a total of about 7,500, and now it's worth nothing because they took the liquidity out. They're supposed to be putting the liquidity back in. I got a feeling that is never gonna happen. You're being strung along. By the way, remember, they were cooperating with the authorities. Now, does it sound like Brad is out here telling you that the authorities are working on something? Does it? Because that's not what happened. The SEC, the Division of Enforcement, came out and they talked about what was going on, and it didn't take. And by the way, they sent out a public notice of an investigation of Saitama, Cytochain, Cytomask, Cytopro. They put in Lillian Finance. They put in all the names of everything. The FBI did. They put out a list that they were looking for information about these projects publicly. But for some reason, Brad is the only one telling you about legal processes being worked on in the background to take care of bad actors in the space. By the way, the bad actors in the space were Luis and Cody. Are they bad actors? I don't know that they are or are not. I don't think that they are. I think they just got tired of Brad and what he was doing. And I think that they kind of discovered more than they probably. That's my opinion. I don't have any facts to back that up. This is just my opinion of what was going on over there. So it could be that they were not those bad guys to begin with, or it could be that they're all grifters and they're just finding a new grift. I don't know. So, but Lillian Finance, And then Crypto.com got a Wells notice. After they got the Wells notice, what did they do? They sued the SEC and issued a statement that they are doing it to protect cryptocurrency from the federal government. Chris Marzalik, co-founder and CEO of Crypto.com, took to X on the 8th to announce that the company had filed a suit against the SEC. This unprecedented action by our company against a federal agency is a warranted response to the SEC's regulation by enforcement regime, which has hurt more than 50 million American crypto holders. We are doing so to protect the future of the crypto industry in the US, joining a series of our peers who are actively defending themselves and taking action against a misguided federal agency acting beyond its authorization under the law. Marzalik has also promised that the company would use all regulatory tools available to bring certainty to the industry through proper rulemaking. Now, this, guys, by the way, is one of those things where I think it's important for you to have a bag of crow right about now, because I would get the sense that they're going to be leaders going forward in this industry because they are coming after the bad actors in the crypto space, and that being Gary Gensler and the SEC and Senator Joe Kahantis, Elizabeth Warren. Those people. By the way, did anybody forget that Liz Warren is a disgusting, unscrupulous liar who pretended that she was Native American in order to get access to education in schools and got discounts by being a Native American off of her bills and used the student loan program, and was rewarded for that, despite the fact that she was lying about it the entire time and was not actually a Native American? She just looks the size of a peace pipe. She's not actually one. I mean, let that sink in. So in the announcement, Crypto.com indicated that its lawsuit against the SEC is following the receipt of the Wells notice. And what they've done is the exchange argued that the SEC has established an unlawful rule that trades in nearly all crypto assets as security transactions, no matter how they are sold. Despite receiving the notice, Crypto.com said it's business as usual, and the platform will continue its pursuit of crypto in every wallet. Crypto.com wants to confirm that some crypto products are solely regulated by the CFTC. So they're looking for clarity in this, because what they're being told is that everything is secure. Now, listen, I told you guys before that I don't think that these guys are understanding some of what is going on, because I think that Crypto.com has its own staking service that it uses, because my crow is staked. So, and it's liquid staking. So I think that the SEC is coming after them for liquid staking. I don't think that they're coming after them for anything other than that. And I think that, what we do in the industry is we kind of obfuscate some of the stuff here, and that we will find out that this is exactly what they're going after. And that's why the Wells notice was issued, and that Crypto.com is going to use some kind of random defense. I don't know what the defense is going to be. Dino Meek says, the real question is what's going to happen to this chain of tokens that they scammed 10,000s out of pocket? Will they renounce them, or will the SEC just remove them? Okay, so it is my understanding that the SEC has now recovered $25 million from the Saitama from the Saitama team so far in cash and kind, and that they will be making a fund available for anybody affected by the Saitama Inu situation and downfall. So again, this is going to be based on the fact that for anybody who doesn't know, by the way, if you're not part of what was going on with the Saitama token, Saitama Inu, what was happening is Russ had created a chat for all of the developers, and it was for fake buys and sells. And what they were doing is they were buying at low prices, making it look like there was a lot of people, and they were creating hundreds of wallets. What was going on is, I think Russ made a reference to having 100 wallets. So Russ used 100 different wallets to continue buying to make it look like there was a lot of buys coming in, and that created FOMO because he was artificially pumping the price. And they were all doing it. They were all doing it because they had also bought in early as investors, and they had started to cash out, and they were selling a bunch of tokens. Now, the SEC then goes in and they find that for example, Russ had sold like 25 billion tokens. NAM had sold something, like 1.2 trillion tokens. Like they had sold massive amounts of the supply over time, and continued to do that to buy and sell and continue to pump their bags and the price, which helped to keep it in the public eye and keep pumping the chart. And then they had Russ doing the same thing with the Vision token to make it look like that one was pumping too inside that Saitama ecosystem. And remember, they got kicked out of the Saitama ecosystem because people found out what they were doing and they were removed from that from that ecosystem when Russ had also stepped down and was just focusing on his new token, which turns out it was a scam as well. And it wasn't a video platform or anything like that. So there will be a fund set up for people to recover some funds. Again, they made a lot of money off of it. And the fact that they gave up 25 million right away should tell you a little bit about that. Now, remember, Nam is the one that had most of it. He was the one that sold the most tokens. Were they trading the money around? I don't know that. The SEC is going to know that, or the FBI is going to know that. But Nam Tran is in Vietnam, where there's no extradition treaty. So it could be possible that Nam is never arrested and he keeps the money and, you know, just like, screw these guys. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to go on. But Crypto.com has sued. Also, Bitnomial has sued the SEC. And this just happened a little while ago, which was just kind of out of nowhere. They were not part of it. They were not part of a lawsuit, but Bitnomial Exchange has filed suit against the SEC to prevent them overreaching their statutory authority and asserting joint jurisdiction over Bitnomial's XRP futures contract, which is under the sole jurisdiction of the CFTC. Now, that's really, really cool. Bitnomial, who has started an XRP futures contract, has said that it is governed and should be under the CFTC jurisdiction. So they have filed a lawsuit for clarification for that. Why? Because the SEC ignores all of these actors and they wait for them to do something that the SEC thinks that it can shake them down and get money out of them, and then it files an enforcement action in order to do that. It's governing through intimidation without clear laws regulating what is going on. So Bitnomial, shout out to Bitnomial for stepping up immediately and filing suit against the SEC. And by the way, if you know this guy, then you know that this is a very interesting thing. Tony Edwards from the Thinking Crypto podcast. I would encourage you to go listen to it, by the way. It's one of those things where you should listen to it every day. It's only about 20 minutes long. I put it on 2x speed, so it's only 10 minutes long. But he kind of gives you an update on some of the important things that are going on in crypto. So it looks like he's already on top of it. So interesting times here. Bitnomial suing the SEC as well. And then let's move on to the concerns here. One of the concerns is the US PPI inflation data is sparking concern. Now, remember, we got CPI the other day, and it came in just a little hotter than it was before that. Prior, it was, it was not doing. It was not looking great. It was not looking amazingly, awesomely, incredible, blah, 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 blah. It was not nailing it, if you will. Now, PPI comes in and it's also kind of hot, which means that quantitative, that 50 basis point rate cut, we're kind of priced in for another 50 basis point cut going forward. And it is looking like when you look at the data that we're seeing right now, it's in line. It's not out of line. There's nothing surging and going crazy with it, but it's going to give you cause for concern. You should be concerned about it because it's telling you that the Fed is probably going to have to cool off and not do rate cuts. They're probably going to want to look at this and they're going to want to see what the market does and how the markets are reacting, because at this point right now, the market is not reacting the way that they wanted. So I would be watching for something happening going forward that changes, that changes something to the downside. I feel like there's going to be another crash coming. However, here's the great part. Because I feel that way, the market might react differently. And the reason that I think that the market might react differently is because Ripple has stepped up. This is another reason to be bullish right now. Ripple has notified the courts that they intend to file a cross appeal. Remember, the SEC appealed the Ripple verdict. So Ripple is now filing a notice of filing. The filing takes place after the SEC sought an appeal in early October. The two sides are expected to face off in court yet again. The filing has been submitted to the U.S. Court of Appeals. It is set to challenge some facets of the final judgment that was issued on August 8th. Meanwhile, Ripple's XRP is looking to surge as it's showing clear signs of a recovery. Now, the question is, does it get back up to 60 cents? Because that's the number that we're looking at, and that's the one that we need to see. Now, the notice of appeal looks like this right here. And it says, please take note that the defendant, Ripple Labs, hereby respectfully cross appeals to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit from the final judgment entered on August 7, 2024. Now, what would that mean? Well, here's the good part. The good part is Ripple is able to play defense. Now, if you remember, the SEC filed its notice of appeal on Monday. Now, the notice of appeal that they filed, or was it last Friday? Whatever date it was, they have 2 weeks to flesh out what it is that they are appealing. Once that appeal has been filed, then Ripple can counter with a cross appeal of some of the statements that are being made, so that theirs looks like it addresses, in its cross appeal, will address some of the concerns that are going on over this ruling. So this is going to be a good move, I think. And look, it is my opinion. I don't have any facts to back it up, but it is my opinion that the SEC is going to lose this one in spectacular fashion. They haven't done anything intelligent when it comes down to it at all during the course of what's going on here. But now that should make you bullish on XRP. But what about the rest of the market? Well, guess what? Yesterday we talked about this. China had decided no stimulus, that they were going to let the market ride for a little while. And what happened? The Shanghai index and the mainland index went down to lows that they had not seen since 2008. The stock markets in the Chinese districts all crashed immediately because there was no economic stimulus. Well, guess what? The stimulus, the stimulus party, or whatever the bank is called, has changed its mind. Bitcoin, Bitcoin and the rest of the wider security market could be in for a wave of fiscal stimulus. China's finance minister, Lan Fuan, is set to provide details on intensifying fiscal stimulus policies on a Saturday press conference, the State Council Information Office said. So from the federal government in China that said, we're not going to do any stimulus, they immediately saw what their markets were doing. And then they said, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's do something here. So Bitfinex analysts noted that China's stimulus plan has become a focal point in the cryptocurrency market, as fresh liquidity injected into the broader economy could benefit risk on assets like crypto. We expect that a good amount of liquidity being injected into the market will be reflected across all risk on, including crypto. The analysts added that Chinese stimulus package, exact scale and scope, could still surprise the market, and any anticipated effects are still not fully priced in. This is especially if the measures are larger or more aggressive than expected. So look, China's reacting to a crash that happened in their stock market because they did not provide economic stimulus. So now China is going to provide economic stimulus in 24 hours. So guys, go long is, I guess, what I'm saying here. Now, this is buy the rumor, sell the news. So if I say go long, that could mean that there is a dip because it's going to happen on Saturday. There won't be a lot of quote unquote protecting of your price action, if you will, except by market makers. So it could be very, very cutthroat. So I would use low leverage if you are going to leverage your positions. And in fact, if you are going to leverage those positions, please go to CoinW, go to KCEX and use those positions wisely. But look, go long right now, because this is, if, and look, this would be a risk here. This is a gamble. If they come out with something that looks impressive, if they are injecting a ton of money into this market, if they are doing this. If they are doing this, then that's where $80,000 Bitcoin comes into play. This is where $70,000 Bitcoin comes into play. This is where one of those incredible God candles comes from, is something like this. The important part is the Chinese government is stepping up big time in order to satisfy their country's need for liquidity and for the confidence of the investors. So, I get a sense here that this is one of those catalysts that we've been waiting for. So manage your portfolio accordingly, because I think that it's about to get I think it's about to get impressive. Let's just say that. I think we're going to be in really good spot. And by the way, the reason that I'm more bullish on it, fear and greed index is at 30. Ta-da! Was it 32? But I mean, guys, this is the spot where I keep telling you, when it comes into this range, this is your buy zone. This is your last warning. This is your spot. Accumulate right now, because look, there is a possibility right now we're about to hit not necessarily the banana zone, but a banana zone. This is about the spot where you could look at something like Bitcoin just taking off and surging and dragging the rest of the market with it. And by the way, the Chinese, they love Bitcoin, but guess what they like more? Altcoins and meme coins. So, guys, there is a possibility that we're going to see something radical happen over this weekend. Now, will it happen? I don't know. I do not know. I think that we're going to see something like this happen, but you have to decide for yourself whether that's the risk that you are willing to take. And if you decide to take that risk, by the way, sign up at my links in the description down below and start trading on CoinW, start trading on KCEX, mostly CoinW though. CoinW pays me better, by the way, than KCEX. So it will really help me out a lot if some of you guys would take a moment or two and sign up for CoinW, do a small funding of your account. You can win some cash, by the way, from them by signing up and funding your account. And also, if you guys remember, I gave you yesterday that I have my own secret saucy little Telegram chat, and I'm going to put the link over here for you guys. Let me go find it here real quick. All right, so I'm going to put this in chat right now, and boom, and okay, so that's the Telegram that I just put into the YouTube chat right now that lets you know that if you go there, then there's going to be all kinds of call signals. Now you have to sign up for CoinW, and in fact, I'm going to put it on Twitter. So on this X live stream, if you want to check that out, you can check that out too. Yeah, there you go. So go sign up, go register over there, and fund your account a little bit on CoinW. Start doing some futures trading, because right now is that moment. This is banana zone, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is the moment where it's going to get. This is let me not say it. This is the potential moment where it gets crazy. One of them. Okay, this is one of those pieces that we're looking to fall into place in order for that next leg up. Right. Well, that next leg up could be happening right now. So you know what I mean? Get moving and get into it right now. Get into the groove, if you will. Now, in the meantime, if you haven't already, go check out MSI token. The token trender or ticker trender is the big move right now. So give it a few days, and you should see it. Looks like it's coming out a lot faster than anybody ever thought. Also, Exolix is now listing MSI on its platform as well. So, and this, by the way, this is just free listings that are coming out because people are getting excited about MSI. So I got a sense here that MSI probably going to have a little surge, not because of an exchange that you've barely ever heard of, not because of that, but because it's getting it's being pushed around into all of these different exchanges, and then when that happens, that tends to be a positive outcome. Also, if you haven't, check out the DevvE ecosystem. Thinking about getting some DevvE or got some DevvE lying around, it's about time to put it to use using the Dev Launchpad pools. You can gain membership to access Launchpad pre-sales, access project airdrops, including future rewards from our upcoming Platinum exchange, and then unlock access to additional reward system. There is, so they do have an exchange coming up. They've been working on. Look, here's the thing, DevvE. Just because you just found out about it because I'm talking about it, or because you hadn't seen it, just because you haven't known about it doesn't mean they haven't been working on it. The blockchain's been active and being built since 2018, and I mean by 2018 it's been usable, but they haven't been releasing it out to people because it's a permission blockchain for businesses. They've been working on it for almost 10 years, and it's live. There's it's now tokenized, and Fias was the very first one. Taunt is coming very soon. Taunt is a fighting game. I think it's called Battle World. All of these tokens, all of these things are just opportunities for you to get into this ecosystem, because something very big is coming. And look, they tell me something big is coming, but they don't say what it is. So I don't know, I don't know what that means or anything like that. You know what I mean? So we'll see whether or not this is a big deal or not. But I think that, ultimately, DevvE, one of the big things in this ecosystem going forward. I told you guys that for me, this is the most bullish of all of the narratives. For me, is this is an AI blockchain that's been around for a while. It's permissioned. It's for business. It's already got HIPAA compliance fully programmed in. It's already got not just HIPAA compliance, but it's already got state and federal regulations for all countries, all major countries involved. So if you are doing business from the US to Russia or to England or to Germany, the laws and rules of each land are already applied into that blockchain. So you can't make a transaction there unless it's authorized. So it prevents any sort. The SEC can't get you because all the laws are programmed in. So no cheating, which is a very cool thing. And that's why DevvE is probably going to be one of the compliance tools for a lot of big businesses. Also, Saitama Wolfpack, guys, survived. Not only did it survive the dump, it barely dumped, and then it started to pump. Let me show you what's going on over here on the Saitama. We had that big surge the other day when I got, look, I told you guys, we started talking about it again over here about 7 days ago, and then it immediately pumped way up here. Does that have anything to do with us? I mean, maybe a little bit. Maybe just us getting into it caused a little surge in the spike. But then you had this where the bad stuff started happening with the other Saitama, and then guess what? It didn't stay that way for very long. What happened is the market started to just recover and move. So what are you looking at right now? What you're looking at right now is you're looking at that candle right there, saying that most likely we're in an upward trajectory. Now it went up to 31.73 just a few short hours ago, and it seems like the market is pumping. If that is the case and the market is pumping, then I guess you're going to see a nice little recovery coming imminently on this, and most likely coming up into that 4,000 range, exactly where for a retest it was right over here. You'll see that surge back up into this range, and then what you want to see ultimately is a test right here at around 36. That's what you want to see. And that would be helping to confirm that it's breaking out. You would be looking at the move right here up into this range right here. And then you would look for a back test right around here at 36, and then a continuation on. And that's what looks like it's going to happen on the Saitama project. Also, let's go over here. And there is a statement that was issued by Tom, and it's right here. Go check that out if you want at Saitama_reborn, where he talks about the end of the era, if you will, from the old Saitama Inu project. Look, the name of Saitama being out here is going to matter. I'm telling you right now, no matter what happened over there. And I'm going to tell you that because remember, FTX pumped after the huge dump. Don't forget what else pumped after a huge dump. Solana. Remember, you could get Solana for under $10 about a year ago. Like, it was not that long ago where Solana was. Let's go back and see exactly where it was. It went down to $8.11 after the collapse of FTX. Okay. Once that happened, it then bounced immediately back up from $8 to, it looks like over a course of 2 weeks or so, back to around $22, between $18 and $22, where it went for a little while before people realized, oh shit, we're idiots. We probably shouldn't be doing this. This is stupid. And then what did you see? You saw it go from in September of 2023 from $18 up to $200 in March of 2024. You had a 6-month trajectory there where it just had an explosive move. Well, look, same thing's going to happen with all these other ones. And it's just, the bad news is bad news, but as long as it's going to be supported, eventually that bad news will become good news, because Saitama is still an important player in the game overall. Now, when I say that, that's a meme coin game. That's not I'm not saying that it's a huge financial institution, anything like that. It's just, it's a big name out here in the space. It moved a lot of needles, so I would suspect that it's going to move a lot of needles going forward. So make sure you have yourself a pack of Saitama Reborn, because you're going to need it. And then ULTRAREVO.BIZ. Guys, I'm going to be doing some trading on that. I'm going to show you the platform a little bit later today. I did make a video on it before and previously. This was one of the big ones that you would want to be involved in. Now, I do think that it's important that you get that you watch some of these videos when I do them, because this is a great opportunity as a staking platform like Cryptonomy. But we're going to be, this doesn't just trade in crypto. This trades on a lot of major indices. Like, for example, one of them that I'm going to do trading on is going to be it's going to be Apple, MSI. It's going to be tech stocks, S&P. So I'm going to be doing something on the indices today. So if you would tune into that one, and let's see what we can get. Saitama Reborn. Jay, I'll give you the information over here. It's on the Solana ecosystem. There's the contract address. I just put it into the Telegram or into the YouTube chat. That's the contract address, and it is not run by anybody from the previous team. It's run by a bunch of fans of Saitama, people that were holding Saitama Inu a long time ago, and now they're trying to create a kind of revival wave of rebuilding Saitama and getting it to start pumping again. Like, I think everybody who lost a little bit of money wants to make themselves whole, and they think that the Saitama name, importantly, is something that's going to run in the crypto industry, and I agree that it's going to. So I would be checking it out. But in the meantime, ULTRAREVO, ULTRAREVO, I think, would be an interesting one for you to check out. I'm going to do a video on it today. And that's it. The only final thing is, and this is the goods, guys, Coins Chick Coin. Look at this. Guys, I keep telling you that you're going to mess up if you don't have yourself a bag. And I just want you to look at the chart. The chart has never dipped. Or reasonably, you can expect, maybe you can call this a dip, but it's really just kind of sideways action. So it's silly of you to not have yourself a little bit, especially when you consider that this seems to be, if there is a dip region, it's right up here at the top. Like that is the dip region. So if we were to look at it and say, well, it kind of broke down over here. If you still look at it kind of this way, then you can see that it's consolidating for another big move, that there is another big move on the horizon here, that it looks like it's consolidating here for a breakout to midway through, should continue a move into 14 or 15, might retrace back down, but then a breakout happens and boom, we're on to the next level. And what's that next level? Well, when you zoom out and you look at it from this context and you take from top to bottom and you say that it's going to break out, you could be looking at 302 popping up anytime very, very soon. That's about a 70% return. And by the way, this is micro cap. This is micro cap. So I don't invest a huge amount, because it's not a huge amount. It's got 40,000 in liquidity. It's got 135,000 market cap. When we get to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, then you invest larger amounts. But right now, just put in a little money and just go for the ride. You know what I mean? Just go for the ride. Fez, Fez is one of them crybabies. All right. Look, Fez, I don't want you to cry. So Use all the tissue you need, buddy. You're going to be okay. All right. So let's get into the rest of the market. We're up $42 billion on the day. Bitcoin sitting at 61.7. Not going to give you a prediction here for Bitcoin other than guess what? We had this move here. This move is playing out. It didn't come all the way down to 57. I don't like that. It came down to 59. Got kind of stopped there, which is that's an indication that the market is incredibly bullish, by the way. And if this narrative does play out and we see a spike here, this will confirm that we are back on a bullish trajectory. Remember, it did this last time, and then it broke all the way down one more time. So this could be the start of something good. Now, what we need to see at this point would be a move all the way up here into 68,000. After 68,000, we break out above it into the 70,000, come back tested at 68, and then we're off to the races. If that were to happen, then we could see a $90,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, $80,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, something like that. So that's what's going on with Bitcoin. I would be waiting to see what's going to happen. The market, again, continues to just feel good. Now, listen, the important part is, where does the market look right now compared to the data that we got? Well, we got the data here 3 hours ago-ish, about 2.5 hours ago anyway. But guess what? Since then, the market has continued to accelerate. So we had a nice recovery off of this bottom, and now we're continuing the recovery. And the important part is you got the data from the US government. You don't like the data. You don't think that it looks great. Doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look great. Doesn't give you confidence that there's going to be a big spike, right? Well, guess what? These people disagree. So the question is that a trap? Well, we're going to find out very soon whether it's a trap or not, because guess what? We are actually in that special place, kind of right here, if you will. This is your volume node. If you look at it from the context of, let's move this back over here. Right here is where your volume is in your in this range, right? And so this is your volume zone right here. We just wicked off of it. Now we're going to have to come through it, and we're going to have to start crashing through in order for this to be a confirmed breakout. But guess what? As we speak right now, we're up 46 billion in the market. So that's happening as we speak. Okay, so it could be that we're having a nice little breakout. Now total, we're up 2.2%. Total 3, we're up 1.8%. So it's Bitcoin, not altcoins, that are running right now. So once Bitcoin runs a little bit, and once it starts to tire, then we'll start to see alts catch up. And that's what it looks like is happening right now. So as far as Ethereum goes, same thing, but we're on a red candle for the last hour, but it's up to almost 2% on the day. DevvE is down 1.7%. We had somebody just sell a moment ago. It was on a big recovery up to 29. And by the way, remember, we still have people who are vested. So you still have these vesting sales that are going to go on until November, I want to say 6th or 7th. And then you'll have, for a couple of days later, you'll have a couple of people that are going to sell because they're going to be waiting for a pump in order to sell. But then after that, there's no sell pressure anymore. And this thing can moon, baby. All right. So API 3, guys, up to $1.37. I bought it 130 and at 1.305 is what I bought the other day. So I'm up, 10% off of that right now, which is a pretty good start. But I think that API 3 is one of these breakout projects that it's gonna absolutely rip. I have 2 bags, by the way, of API 3. I have one in my hot wallet, and then I have one that's not in my hot wallet. And that's what we're going to call it now, not hot wallet. Solana, I've got about 12 Solana right now, and it's up to 144. But I think I bought it at around 144 anyway. So it's not really up at this point. I converted some of my holdings into Solana because I think Solana is going to rip a little bit before everything else. Dow Jones up 300 points on the day. Luna Classic up 2.5% on the day in a full recovery. USTC doing its recovery. But look, it's got a little ways to go. Each one of these has got a little ways to go before it gets there to these previous October highs. So I do suspect that we're going to see another rip right here. We're in this upward facing channel. We've been in this upward facing channel for a while on Luna Classic. So I'm going to say that we're probably going to rip up here into 3011 in very short order. I would suspect, and there's a lot of bullish sentiment going around for Luna Classic, so there's no reason to think that it's not going to happen. As far as Luna goes, Luna to me is dead, but they're going to burn a significant amount of Luna. And by the way, if you guys don't understand, Terraform Labs, which was the original creator, this was Duquan's company, was the creator of Luna Classic, was the creator of USTC, was the creator of Luna 2. They have to burn all of their holdings. They are holding 275 billion Luna Classic, which means that they're going to have to burn twice as much as has been burned already, which is going to be going to cause a significant influx in both investors and interest in the Luna Classic community. Also in USTC, they hold 1.8 billion USTC. I think I have my number right. 1.8 billion. There's only 5 billion in circulation. So they're about to pump the shit out of Luna Classic and USTC, in my opinion, when they do these burns. Not only that, they have to burn all of the Luna that they're holding as well. And remember, they're the largest holder of Luna, which means that they are about to burn this ecosystem to a new high, a new level. They're about to cause just a really explosive move here. I wanted to convert my Luna over to Luna Classic, but because of the burns, because I'm waiting to see how those burns play out, I might be wrong, by the way. We could see Luna just kind of bottom out, but I don't think so. It's going to be a community takeover, and it'll be under a DAO premise. They're setting all of that up right now for the community so that they can, so the community, it becomes just a complete DAO with a CTO and stuff like that. And then the community will be in charge from that point forward on Luna. But they're also going to burn a huge amount of Luna tokens. And when they do that, I think it's going to be like, I think what you see at this point from Luna is a move up into like $3 or $4 again. Like I think that what happens is it comes back up into this $2, $3, $4 range one more time. I think that's going to be a big move for Luna, because that supply is going to be grossly diminished. So I would be looking for that one to be to have a pretty big sort of play out here, not that long. Also, let's get right there into, woof, that sucks. Let's do one more time here. There we go. All right, so it's down below. It's let's kind of move out here just a little bit here. It looks like it's down below. Yeah, so I would expect it to move up into the 40-cent range pretty soon. So Luna, I'd be looking for a breakout. MSI keeps breaking out and keeps breaking out and keeps breaking out. I think it's about to have another big move. I think that one's coming up very soon. We should probably get rid of that and start to look at it from the reversal. So when it comes to the reversal on MSI, I would be looking at a move from MSI. MSI is still at the top of its move. So in the event that it's going to break out, then I would suspect it's going to break out to 39.70 pretty soon. But if you just kind of look at it the way that it runs, it tends to run through these patterns. So I think it's going to come up here into this range real soon. So I think you're going to see a big move on MSI. Look, this is not it's not life-changing move. This is just a big move. And I think that big move's coming up pretty soon. So let me know what you think, by the way, in the comments on that. And let's move down here. One that is breaking out. Told you. I mean, you got to listen. You got to listen. You got to listen. All right. So MAGA is breaking out one more time. It's up 18% on the day. There's a few other ones. TIA, Celestia had a big breakout over the last few hours. It's up 9%. SWE is now up. Look at this. It was at $1.81 last night. $1.81 last night. It's up at over 205 right now. It's a continuation of what was happening before. Remember, because Rio was in a breakout mode over here. And what happened? It dunked for a couple days, and now boom. The same things that were breaking out before are continuing their breakouts. So what else? Fetch, AI, and Phantom. Told you guys Phantom was going to have a breakout. Now, by the way, I think that, when I say breakout, we're talking about from the bottom. That's the important part, is you got to catch these dips before you do that. There we go. All right, guys, that's it. Time to pay the bills and get out of here. Make sure you get some Coins Chick Coin. Make sure you get some DevvE. Make sure you get some Saitama Reborn. Make sure you get some MSI. These things are going to absolutely explode. Make sure you get API 3, guys. I'm going to stay bullish on that one forever. I really think that API 3 is going to be one of those big 100Xs. It's already, it's already got 100 million market cap. I think it's just going to run to 10 billion. Like, boom. Super excited about it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. Hey, McFly, why don't you hit the like button? What is wrong with... From now until November 1st, if you make a deposit of $1,000 at Cryptonomy.finance, you will get a random bonus of between $50,000 and $5,000. Also, guys, if you have anything that you don't understand about Cryptonomy, then I do special research articles on this platform. So if you are interested, you can come check them out. And if you have a question about any of these projects, then there is an opportunity here for you to learn about some of the cryptocurrencies, especially Aerodrome or Carve or something like that. I've got a lot of staking going on right here. I've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tether, all coming up to be unstaked very, very shortly. So join me in this, reap the rewards like I'm reaping. And folks, don't forget, not only is Cryptonomy a robust staking platform, but it's also a venture fund. So if you